Why, hello there, fellow captains. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Homeworld. Episode 2, Building Fleet, Supplies, and Cash. Alright, we don't really have the space for anything else at the moment. So I'm going to run home, so to speak. Not that we really have a home. Sell off the stuff we've got, refit the ships we have, and then go back to the debris field. I wouldn't mind picking over that debris field over messing with the... And here's the salvage tally that I was talking about before, which keeps track of the stuff that you could salvage that you hadn't. So there's a new tab here, salvage, which will keep track of all the stuff that you could potentially salvage that you had overlooked. And we are absolutely burning through supplies, but it's not a big deal, because I think we're going to make way more money than the cost of the supplies that we end up burning. At least that's the hope. Oh, this is the relay. Oops. You know what? Actually, sniffer. Might as well get some free intel. Alright. Now, you know what? I just realized we were carrying metal. Oh, whatever. But we have a lot of heavy machinery, so I'm going to sell a bunch of it. And let's take a look at our ships. So in terms of move speed, fleet speed, the Dram and the Manicore need to go faster. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the Manicore go faster. And if that's the case, then we can have 9 BR speed, because I do not have the ability to add augmented field drives yet, which would speed up the Manicore. So 9 is now our baseline. So for this Manicore, I'm going to do thrusters. And let's see. I can't buy weapons, so we have to go with owned weapons that I have in my salvage. Luckily, we have like okay salvaged weapons, and we'll have to just piece together what we can. So assault gun. Let's do an autocannon and a mortar. And there we go. We have the Manicore. It's pretty jank, but like it's as good as it's going to be. Give it a little armored weapon mounts. And what else can we add to it? Maybe a little bit more hull integrity, just in case it gets shot. Because it's like the biggest ship we have, so, you know, it's probably going to get shot a lot. At this point, I'm going to strip the other ships that we've got that are like non-combat. So the Drams are going to get stripped of their ordinances. Because I just don't foresee ever using them in combat, because like they shouldn't ever be. Which means we'll have more weapons to play with. And then here is the Spartan, the Hyperion. And that'll be good enough. We'll give it the same sort of treatment as the last one, with bulkheads and hardened systems. 1 ordnance point left over for, let's do capacity. Alright. It's jank, but it's our jank, and that's what matters. We are definitely going to want to try to find a place to put the weapons that we do not use. Because they're just going to take up more and more and more space over time. But because we're full on scrap right now, let's sort through our debris so we can resupply ourselves without paying for it. Ooh, advanced optics. Learn. So I'm going to do this all 4 times. I know we're absolutely full of stuff. And I probably should have outfitted our ship after doing this, not before. Order of operations, let's say. So, taking a look at the new stuff. Gauss cannon. That's a pretty sexy main gun, I would say, in the scheme of things. And the sides, I think I'm going to change it so that we have Vulcan cannons on the side, and then like something something annoying in the front. Salt gun? That's not great, but whatever. And then 2 harpoons. I like it. It's a bit sexier of a build. It's nicer. And that Gauss cannon will have hella range. Plus, this thing comes with a ballistic viewfinder, so it will have even greater range. And then a Hyperion. Ooh. Let's put the Needler in instead. And then ion cannon, ion pulsar? I don't know. It probably won't work, but who knows? Can't know until you try. Okay, good enough. The AI doesn't really need weapon groups. It's more like the player using them. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to keep piloting the Wolf for now. Alright, for all of these excess weapons, I think because we're poor, I'm going to hawk them. But in the future, we're going to want to do something greater than that. And I'm also going to reduce the amount of heavy machinery I've got as well for space, because we don't have a lot of cargo space. I haven't been able to salvage a cargo vessel yet. Now, there are storage options here in the core. There are random derelict stations and the like that we could store our stuff on, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to back out to that salvage field and see what we can grab. Because that system looked like had a treasure trove of stuff. And we're also going to be able to survey ruins pretty soon, too. Okay. Max speed and turn rate. 2 of the ship shield rates. Flux capacity. Readiness. And market accessibility. Mediocre. And flux and... okay, yep. Same type of deal. As you can see, we really don't need to buy a lot of supplies. We can just keep doing this. Salvage the hell out of everything. Now, blueprints for weapons are like not particularly useful because we don't manufacture anything, but you know, whatever, we'll learn them. Okay, your sensor officer frowns at a blinking indicator. Captain, there appears to be a faint signal coming from low orbit. They pulled a detailed scan of the transmission source to the primary bridge display, an orbital nav grid overlaid with icons and telemetry. The transmission is very weak. We only picked it up as a survey array ran through the calibration cycle. Looks like an automated instrument package deployed in low orbit. Power source is degraded. It's got to have been here for a while. And the signal? Your sensor officer activates the audio output. A garbled loop, wailing in and out of coherence. A recorded voice? The transmitter must be damaged. With a little work, and a hint of pride enters her voice. There. Ment of the Glacia Academy. If found, I implore you to return the data core to the Academy for a reward of 18,000 credits, authorized by Provost Kalachor. Message will repeat. Alright. We'll retrieve it and inspect the data. Cursory inspection by your technology officer to make sure that this isn't some sort of bomb or rogue AI core reveals a data core packed to the limit with compressed telemetry streams. It's a lot of data, they said, scrolling through a vast column of numbers. What is it? Well, recording, sensory logs, data feed, experimenting with numbers, some kind of field strength? You're beginning to get the impression that your tech officer doesn't know what the device was measuring. If you don't know, just say so. Yes, sir, of course. Is that a hint of blush? The reprimand is made, so you push no further. Alright, let's poke around this solar system. And then we'll have another derelict ship mission to do afterwards. The other thing that would be good is for us to build up our knowledge of topography data. So for those that don't know, scanning things like gas giants and magnetic fields and black holes and the like will give you topography data. And as your topography data builds up, you can traverse the galaxy far more capably. And that is absolutely something that we're going to want. Alright, bunch of ping data from over here where we've been breaking stuff down, but nothing else yet. Ooh, a free shrike? Don't mind if I do. One of the other advantages of having a bunch of crew ships that add to your crew count, is that we can, when we find new ships, we can crew them up without going over our minimum crew capacity, so that they are, like, workable ships. And that also means that we have the ISS Detrayer, or whatever it's called, to be raffled. So I'll fire up the old raffle. Alright, radar picked up something around this jump point. It's moving, so it's probably another fleet. Got it. Let's head over to the last planet, and then we'll head back to the core. Refuel, and then go out to the survey that we got paid for. The next one. But so far, so good. I mean, you know, we got some real ships here. Speaking of which, let's strip this one down. Hardpoint. We'll give the finisher. I guess the heavy blaster is the best thing we can put in there. IR pulse laser and PD, and that's like all the weapons we have. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to find like a place to stash our weapons that is free, that doesn't have like monthly rent or anything like that, so that we can continue to outfit our ships and not have to sell all the weapons that we find. We found a Strikecraft XO. Alright, Strikecraft XO. Wade. His initial skill is fighter uplink. So crew loss due to fighter losses in combat is reduced. Target leading accuracy and top speed increase for fighters. And then we can also increase the damage against fighters and missiles. We could have fighters do damage against frigates and ground operations, which is not really necessary right now. Replacement rate for fighters. Engagement range for fighters, which I'm going to pick up. I really like that one. All fighters with ship systems. If the ship system has charges, +1 charge. Quicker regenerating charge. I don't really have carriers with like charges though, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then fighter wings with at least 4 fighters gain an additional fighter in combat. Sure, more fighters. All right, and then the last point you've got is, let's do replacement rate. So there is our Strikecraft XO. And I don't use a lot of fighters. So unless we start picking up a whole lot of carriers, that's an XO that probably won't stick around for very long. Unless we start specializing in carriers by chance. So of course, if I like get a battleship carrier or whatever, okay, yeah, I'll maybe change my mind. But, you know, only time will tell. Ooh, here we go. This has ruins. And we had enough crew to survey it. We picked up 145 more people from down there that got marooned. But the ruin itself didn't really have a lot of stuff. Fully surveyed. Oh, I forgot to name you, too. Totally whiffed on that. So we're going to have to rename our other captain. Wyvern, thank you for the resub. Just a little orbital habitat. You know, no big deal. Oh, boy. Turret rotation rate, 15%. Flux capacity. Oh, a military bionic. Reduce piloting ship turret damage taken by 50%, but turret turn rate 10%. Okay. Blueprints for the Luddic Church. Gamma core, which we can turn in for bounty. And then some other junk. I'm over cargo capacity. I thought I measured it quick. No, we're not. Game, you lied to me. Alright, I think this system is pretty well searched. I'm sure there's more to, like, turn over here, but it's not a big deal. So I'm going to start heading back to core so that I don't run late on this 64-day and analyze derelict ship, because I want to grow our fleet. What we really need right now is, like, salvage gantry would be nice. Possibly a cargo ship would be nice. Like a pirate mule, that'd be ideal for shielded cargo. Because gamma cores and other AI cores aren't illegal, but I do intend to turn them over to the independent nations. It's actually one rule that I meant to add to the rules that I failed to do so. Is in order to ever be considered legitimate, we aren't going to be breaking those laws either. All right, raffle time. Here we go. So, co-captain, you are Azarun. Finally given a proper name. And then, Shrike, you're the glitch. We just got a whole bunch of organs. I'll be tossing them over. Ship flux dissipation and copper readiness. Interesting. All right, we are like over capacity here. And we've been doing so much salvage, I actually just leveled up a little bit, which is crazy. All right, I don't have space for anything else, so we have to leave it all behind. I had intended to, like, maybe salvage the sensor array, but obviously we don't need to do that. What I can do, because I have the materials, is bring it online. Because, like, why not? It might actually reveal some stuff that we had overlooked. But let's get out of here, get back to core, clear out our inventory, and then head over to the other derelict fleet. Or ship. Hopefully it's part of a fleet. And drop the organs. Right. I could pick up more stuff, but I'm not worried. Alright, we'll go over here. Back to Nova Maxios. And then once we get to Nova Maxios, I'll sort through all of our scrap and see what other goodies we have. So we are at 18 because of Max Burn, Pierogi, and Kazira. Got it. Oh, what was that? A mule? Ha-ha! Cargo ship. Not a pirate one, but still. And your name is the D-Sagan. And that's going to help. Well, it has degraded engines, but regardless, that's probably going to help us with the cargo space issue that we've been having. You know what? I want to learn this. Yeah, there we go. You know, I'm not going to buy supplies because I'm sure we're going to get it from the salvage. Confirm. Let's talk to the governor, or the station commander, and turn over the Gamma Core for bounty and reputation. Perfect. Okay, before we go any further, let's refit these ships. So the Shrike... We should have picked up some... Oh, you know, I just sold all the weapons because I'm an idiot. What we'll do in your case is give you thrusters and optics. You don't have lasers, so maybe not optics. Thrusters, weapon mounts, and I don't know, vent capacity. Cool. To be improved further. Whoa, this ship actually came somewhat equipped. And then you, friend, are gonna get expanded cargo and expanded fuel. And then throw some thrusters on you too. Cool. Yeah, go through the scrap before I do the refit. Good call. So scrap time. There's some weapons. Let's do that again. And you can see why I went with the scrap person, given the rule set that I had. So autoloader for missiles. Cool. Because obviously we can't buy weapons, but I can sure as hell find them pretty efficiently by sorting through all the garbage of the galaxy. Alright, let's see what else we can throw on you. So probably the more important one is the Strike, because that's a combat vessel. So you've got heavy blaster. Is there anything better than that? Grav beam? I'll take it. If you're going grav beam, I will throw on the optics, so you grav beam from a distance. Hybrid turret will do burst PD. Oh no, general laser. Oh, that'll work. Burst PD there, and regular PD here. In the back, we'll do... Or actually, let's do... IR pulse, PD laser, PD laser. So this ship is like... reasonable. I'm not gonna say it's good, but it's reasonable. The mule I'm probably gonna treat mostly as like a cargo carrier, which means I'm not necessarily gonna outfit it for like guns. Yeah, there's really not much more to put on the Manticore for now. Same with the drone tender. So I guess you get everything left. You're like, yay, the junk. I'll do anti-swarm and Vulcans, and in the back maybe assault gun. You'll have to do. Oh, the Hyperion could take better weapons. I actually kind of like the Hyperion's build. The Needler plus a bunch of ion pulse, it's a good harasser. Alright, given all that, at some point I will try to find a place for the junk, but I have no such place just yet. Oh, that was the black market. Let's pretend I didn't do that. Totally blanked on that. But it shouldn't piss off the indies too much. Accidents happen. Wasn't intentional. Alright, so the next point of interest we have is south. Yeah, we're already pretty much at the southernmost gate. So let's just start jumping. Oh, also, you didn't get named either. So you are Jokerhead. And we'll name the other one too, that I am not... Oops, I keep doing that. That I'm not currently using. Inverted sheep. All right, before we go there, I'm going to pop over to Gammaran, the closest system to us, to see if it has gates. And what we're looking for is orbiting a barren world, so that should be pretty easy to find. Every now and then, it's like a needle in a haystack, where it's just like some distance away from core, and you're like, great, but like, that's everywhere. Other places is like orbiting a inactive gate, and it's like, well, that's easy. There's only one inactive gate per system, so I'll be able to find it instantly. And I love when it's like a little bit more descriptive about to where it is. So this is Gammaran. And nothing special about this system, I don't think. Radar doesn't pick anything up. This barren world doesn't have stuff on it. I'll survey it for giggles anyway. Just so it becomes my first fully surveyed system. Bit of a freebie if you ask me. Whoa, this place has a lot of planets. I can tell with all the nascent gravity wells. So I need a barren planet. Oh, it also has a gate. So we've got frozen, barren, so it could be here. Gate, desert, barren, desert, gas, cryovolcanic, nav buoy, desert. A lot of little desert worlds here. Neat. Oh boy. Found someone's secret stash. It's really nice to have a lot more cargo space. That mule doing a lot of lifting now. As mules do, right? And when I scanned, I also saw a little ping over here. Only a little kite. But it still adds our scrap. And scrap's nice. So, to answer the questions for, did this get an update or was it voted in? Every single game I ever play on Thursdays is voted on. Without exception. Thursdays is my public, my community votes on the games I play for Thursdays, and that's been the case for years. So barring any weirdness, like I'm sick or have to cancel or reschedule a stream, that's pretty much always true. So it wasn't orbiting this planet, obviously. So it's got to be around the other barren world that is here. Oh, it's Thursday, you're mixing up the days? Yeah, no problem. I'm just trying to answer, like, future questions. So, Thursdays, generally speaking, Thursdays is viewer's choice. Fridays is my Patreon patrons choose. Saturdays, once a month, is the marathon day, and then Sundays is RimWorld. And then Tuesdays, it's games of my choice. Alright, we have a Phaeton. Sorry, Drams, but you're probably going to be phased out soon. Here's a pirate mule that we didn't get, but we did get a Class 5 Terran-eccentric world intel, which is like a very habitable one. 8 crew. Gate is now active. Class 5 arid world intel. That's not bad either. Why does it say that... Oh, unexplored planetside ruins. Yes, because that was the intel we were just offered up. So there's a unexplored ruin in this system here from the survey data that we just found. Given that this system also has a lot of... Oh, and there's another one. Unexplored planet-sized ruins. Given that this system has a lot of semi-habitable worlds that seem to be small, we also might be able to get planet-side ruins here as well. It wouldn't surprise me if there were some. God, that Phaeton is slowing us down. Actually, that might be a good reason not to use it. Yeah, this one did have ruins. Until, of course, we have augmented field drives, because, you know, we don't want to be snails here. I feel weird surveying Nam, like it's going to be full of traps or something. So there's a Vigilant Strike Frigate and a Combat Freighter. You know, I'm actually going to pass on salvaging them. We got Stabilized Shields and Thunderwing. And a whole bunch of organics. Okay. One thing that will speed us up is the nav buoy. And I haven't yet decided if I'm going to keep the Phaeton, so I'm not going to trigger a raffle until, like, I'm sure. I probably should, but, you know, it is slow. Okay, getting a lot of pings here. Research station, that's awesome, and a buffalo. So another surveyed world with an admin. Definitely going to be firing the admin, so I'm not going to raffle them off because I don't foresee establishing a colony anytime soon, as it's really expensive and I don't really have the cash flow for it. So, in the... what am I doing? I always forget how to find your admins. Command, manage administrators, you, 04th. Bye-bye. Can't afford your pay. I don't really know what we're doing with you. Like, okay, research station, cool. We have got high-res sensors, Omni-Shield, Phase Anchor, blueprints for Eagles, blueprints for Kopesh. Autopulse lasers, really nice weapons. High-intensity lasers, pretty nice. Dual flaks, really nice. Ion pulsar and ion cannons can be pretty nice for harassment. Railguns aren't bad either. Cobras are worth a whole lot, as are longbows. They're both strong fighters. Sarissa, not so much, but, you know, whatever. I passed up an IR pulse. Actually, I like IR pulses. Don't care much for the Maulers myself. Alright, we also have claw wings, low-tech blueprints, expanded deck crew, more Gauss cannons, and a weapons cache. We are freaking full up of stuff. Lasher, sure, I'll take it. Blueprints for a Cobra Ring, and some assault guns. Oh, someone is trying to chase us hard. They're on our 6. We picked up a Improv Exo, Biofactory Embryo, Survey Equipment. Yeah, let's put this back. 2 bionics, not very important. 7,000 metals, holy hell. Compensating much? I know it was a mining station. And then, high amp. Shield efficiency. Max speed, shield raise. It's pretty nice stuff. Alright, I know this, yep, they're definitely up my butt. Let's get the hell out of here. Don't want to stay, they would smoke me. That was a big fleet. Alright, the barren world that we're here for is almost certainly this one, because the other one isn't barren. We didn't get the Kraus volcanic world, because we got pushed out by pirates that would crush us. They had a big old fleet. They would kill us in an instant. Yeah, I guess I'll just, I'll raffle off the Phaeton and the Lasher, but again, no promises that I keep a ship just because it's a raffle to you. Just fair warning. Alright, strip. And let's see, railgun. Actually, let's do Vulcan railguns and assault gun. I hate how this is built. Honestly, I think it's trash, but like it's good enough. And then I'm not even gonna bother putting anything on the Phaeton. I mean, it's non-combat ship. Poor farmland, but no ruins. These types of like asteroids aren't indicative of ruins. They're just asteroids. They're not like the debris of a civilization that would imply ruins. Oh, I ran out of time. Well, the good news is I know that there's like a derelict ship out here that yearns to be found. I just gotta be cautious of the other fleet here. I wasn't careful about checking the time, but you know, it's the Luddic Church, so like screw them, whatever. And a lieutenant. Another co-captain. So we'll put them in charge of the Shrike. And they have polarized armor, systems expertise, elite version of field modulation, damage control, and combat endurance. Nice. The other one, Azaroon, has elite missiles, so they'd be much better at a missile ship. If and when we get like a missile ship. But that Phaeton was certainly the one that the Luddic Church wanted me to like survey. It's just, you know, too bad. So as far as the other XO goes, the other XO that we have here is the Improv XO. So all ships have more armor and hit points. Actually, let's put them in charge right now, replacing the Strikecraft one, because we don't have a lot of Strikecrafts. So they can unlock Preservation. All your ships are more likely to be recoverable if lost, and then reduces most negative effects of demods by 25%. We've got Scrappy Maintenance. All ships are more likely to receive demods after being disabled in combat. Combat readiness per demod is increased, and Restoration per demod rate as well, which is, you know, nice, I guess, if your ships get broken down. Defensive configuration, auto fire accuracy goes up, point defense weapon range goes up, which is really important, and weapon turn rate goes up. I really like that one a lot, so potentially I'm going to pick that. Secured mounts, weapon hit points and shield hit points goes up. Mobilization, civilian and militarized ships have a 25% reduction in fuel usage. I don't really need to worry too much about fuel usage because we have so many fuel ships now that it's like not a big deal. However, ship's top speed is increased by 10%. So that is a big deal if we're trying to flee, because we can like get away from things. So I like that. And also ship weapon range is increased. So maybe I'll pick that up as the second point. Enhanced overrides. Safety overrides hull mod gain the following effect. Peak performance is improved by 25%. And safety override weapon range threshold is decreased by 100 units. The safety overrides weapons threshold really sucks badly. It tends not to be something I install. And then the last one in the non-elite versions is redistribution. Ships with the shield shunt, which I'm probably not going to be shield shunt. So let's go ahead and pick up the mobilization. Confirm. All right, we have a lot to raffle. Let's get ourselves back to core via the gate. And then I'll be able to sort through the scrap once we get back. We're not moving very fast, though, because the Phaeton we picked up almost certainly has broken engines. Yep, it does. So it is hobbled hard. But we'll manage. And I think it might be time to find a place for the stash. Uh-oh. Okay. That was just another salvage ship. Not coming to mess with us. Might be time to find a place to stash the weapons, because I would like to start collecting all the weapons that we salvaged, because I don't buy weapons. So the first thing I'm going to do is... You are going to be named Board Drake. And that is all of our exos are now named, and then the Phaeton becomes Blue Panther. Not to be confused with Blue Panther. You know, that'd be really dangerous. And then the Lasher is the Destroyer. Or do you want me to... Oh, that's supposed to be a D. Wow, I spelt that all... Well, alright, I didn't spell it wrong. That's what your name looks like to me, but I know you've told me it's Destroyer. Is what it is. Alright, back to core. Looking for more Derelict missions, because I still think we could benefit from better cargo ships and the like before we start to take more difficult missions. We could also try to scavenge ruins too, but I'd rather do some more salvage. We still have a really weak fleet, and I don't want to have to flee from every pirate fleet like they're the gonna insta-kill us, because like we definitely don't have the fleet to survive that yet. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Homeworld, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Radamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Radamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow pilots.